everyone, welcome to the YouTube channel of Novel Bell. I am Akshata और आज के सेशन में हम डिस्कस करने जा रहे हैं a very important topic for your upcoming Sainik School entrance exam. If you are someone who is preparing for class 9 Sainik School entrance exam, तो आपके लिए सेशन बहुत ही important होने वाला है. साइंस का यहाँ पे हम एक टॉपिक डिस्कस करने जा रहे हैं that goes by the name of metals and non-metals. तो चलिए इस सेशन को हम स्टार्ट करते हैं. Before starting everyone, if you are new on the channel, make sure you subscribe the channel ताकि आपकी जो सैनिक स्कूल एंट्रेंस एग्जाम की प्रेपरेशन है वो स्मूथली चलती रहे. I will be keep on uploading the more sessions like this in the coming days. इसके साथ ही साथ everyone, if you are also preparing for class 9 सैनिक स्कूल एंट्रेंस एग्जाम, तो रिसेंटली हमारा ये जो टेस्ट सीरीज का कोर्स है क्लास 9 के लिए मैंने ये लॉन्च किया है. 599 रुपीज इसका प्राइस है एंड इसमें आपको 10 कंप्लीट सिलेबस सैनिक स्कूल एंट्रेंस एग्जाम के मॉडल पेपर्स देखने मिलेंगे. आप इनको ऑनलाइन ही अटेम्प्ट कर सकते हैं. इसके साथ ही साथ ईच पेपर विल बी प्रोवाइडेड बाय अ वीडियो सोल्यूशन. तो इसको एक्सेस करने के लिए यू कैन कॉन्टेक्ट डायरेक्टली ऑन द नंबर गिवन ऑन द स्क्रीन. इसके साथ ही डिस्क्रिप्शन में मैंने लिंक भी शेयर किया है. फ्रॉम देयर ऑल्सो यू कैन रजिस्टर फॉर इट. चलिए एवरीवन, विदाउट एनी फर्दर डिलेज लेट अस कंटिन्यू विद द टुडेज सेशन. As I said, टॉपिक जो हम डिस्कस करने जा रहे हैं, द नेम ऑफ द टॉपिक दैट वी आर गोइंग टू डिस्कस हियर इज मेटल्स एंड नॉन मेटल्स. अगर हम सिलेबस देखते हैं फॉर सैनिक स्कूल एंट्रेंस एग्जाम क्लास 9, तो मेटल्स एंड नॉन मेटल्स हमारे लिए एक बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक के तौर पे सामने आता है. इफ यू विल हैव अ लुक एवरी ईयर एटलीस्ट वन क्वेश्चन इस टॉपिक से आपको देखने मिलता है. ऐसा कोई भी ईयर नहीं हुआ जहाँ पे इस टॉपिक से आपको क्वेश्चन आया हो. सो मेटल एंड नॉन मेटल्स हैपेंस टू बी अ वेरी 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 इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक. सो विदाउट एनी डिलेज लेट अस गेट स्टार्टेड विद द मेटल्स and non-metals. Now everyone, when we are discussing about metals and non-metals, so before discussing about it, it is important for us to know a few properties of metals and a few properties of non-metals. तो आज के सेशन में हम कुछ important terms को जानेंगे associated with metals and non-metals. The very first term everyone we are going to discuss about here is malleability. So this is a term जो आपको काफी बार इस चैप्टर में देखने मिलेगी. What is the meaning of malleability? Whenever we talk about metals, we always say that all the metals are malleable. सभी जो हमारे metals होते हैं, what are they? All the metals are malleable. So when we are saying malleable, what is going to be the meaning of malleable? तो आपको ध्यान रखना है what is malleability. Malleability we will keep in mind that malleability is a property of metals by which they can be beaten into thin sheets, by which they can be converted into thin sheet. Such a property of metal जिसके थ्रू जो हमारे metals होते हैं उनको हम किस में convert कर सकते हैं? We can convert them into thin sheets. Okay, that property of metals is called as malleability. So let us say we have a metal, कोई metal का piece है, let it be iron, let it be silver. उसको आप अगर hammer से बहुत बार उसके ऊपर आप beaten up करोगे, so it will get converted into what? It will get converted into a thin sheet. What it will get converted into? It will get converted into a thin sheet. So a property of metal जिसके कारण जो हमारा metal है it will get converted into thin sheets, that property is called as malleability. So very important thing we must keep in mind here is that हमारे जितने भी metals होते हैं, all the metals are malleable. जितने भी हमारे metals होंगे, all the metals we must keep in mind are malleable. Okay, that means they can be converted into thin sheets. Very common example of sheets जो हम देखते हैं, they are like aluminium foil. We use it for wrapping our food. We see silver foil food items पे decoration के लिए use किया जाता है. And every daily day to day basis we encounter iron sheets, aluminium sheets. So how does it happen? Why we are able to convert metal into thin sheets? The property which is responsible for this is malleability. So if the question comes that which property of metal, by which property we can convert the metal into thin sheets, तो हमको ध्यान रखना है the property that is involved here is malleability. Additionally, we will also keep in mind a few examples here like silver foil as I told you. Okay, and इसके साथ ही साथ में हम और क्या यूज करते हैं? We also use aluminium foil. We use silver foil and in addition what else we are using? We are also using aluminium foil. So this is something you have to keep in mind. Similar to this, we are going to discuss about the second property of metals. The second property of metal everyone we must keep in mind is Ductility. What is the second property of metal? The second property of metal is ductility. Okay, now what is ductility? Ductility is the property of metals by which they can be converted into wire. Property of metals by which they can be converted into wires. Such a property of metal जिसके थ्रू हम metals को किस में convert कर सकते हैं? We can convert them into wires. Okay, this property is called ductility. What are we calling such a property? Such a property is referred to as ductility. So very commonly if you look in the surrounding, आपने observe किया होगा that जितने भी हम electric fittings करते हैं, in all of them we always use metal wires. हम हमेशा किसका use करते हैं? We are always using the metal wires, be it the aluminium wires. इसके साथ ही साथ में हम किसका use करते हैं? We use copper wire. Okay, we are using aluminium wire. In addition हम क्या use करते हैं? In addition to this we are using copper wires. So both aluminium wires and copper wires वो किससे बने? They are made from aluminium and copper respectively. So इतने बड़े मेटल को, इतने बड़े aluminium या copper जैसे मेटल को हमने क्या किया? We have converted them into the form of wires. So which property was involved in it? The property involved in it was called ductility. हम उस property को क्या कहेंगे? We will be calling it ductility. So at this point of time everyone, we can say अभी तक हमने देखा कि जितने भी हमारे metals होते हैं, all the metals are malleable, मतलब हम उनको thin sheet में convert कर सकते हैं, and all the metals are ductile, मतलब हम उसको किस में convert कर सकते हैं? We can convert them into the form of wires. Okay, there is one more very important property that we must know, that is called sonorous. Now what is the meaning of sonorous? Sonorous का मतलब क्या होता है? Let us say अगर हमने कोई मेटल लिया, उस मेटल पर हमने हैमर से या किसी चीज से मारा, so you will hear a ringing sound. एक बहुत ही specific kind of ringing sound आता है जब आप किसी मेटल को हिट करते हो. So it produces a very specific ringing sound. So the production of that ringing sound, उसको हम क्या कहते हैं? That ringing sound is called as sonorous. Okay, तो sonorous अगर term आता है, so you must keep in mind what is sonorous. Sonorous means the ringing sound produced by metals. Okay, the ringing sound that is produced by metals. उस particular ringing sound को हम क्या कहते हैं? That particular ringing sound is referred to as sonorous. Now I'm taking two things over here. अभी तक हमने तीन चीजों के बारे में पढ़ा. Okay, so I am at one end, what I am doing? At one I am taking copper. Copper is a metal. एक end पे मैं क्या कर रही हूँ? I am taking copper. On another hand, what I am going to do? I am going to take, let us say, wood. Okay, I am going to take two substances here. On one hand with me, what do I have? I have copper, जो कि एक metal है. On another hand, I have got wood. Wood is a non-metal. Now हमको ये पता है already, but let us say if we are not knowing about which of these is a metal and which of these is a non-metal, तो आप कैसे उसको figure out करेंगे? सबसे पहले everyone, what we are going to do? First of all, we'll employ the property of malleability. सबसे पहले मैंने कौन सी property यहाँ पे apply की? सबसे पहले I'm going to apply the property of malleability. So if someone asks me, can you convert copper into thin sheets? क्या आप copper को thin sheets में convert कर सकते हो? So I'll say yes. Copper is a metal. मैं copper को बहुत easily क्या कर सकती हूँ? I can convert it into a thin sheets. But if the same question comes for wood, can I convert wood or plastic into thin sheets by beating it up? I cannot do that. अगर मैं बहुत जोर से wood के ऊपर या फिर मैं बहुत जोर से प्लास्टिक के ऊपर हैमर से मारूंगी, so it will break into pieces. Okay, it cannot be converted into thin sheets. So property of malleability, it is not present in woods. Likewise, we discussed another property. What was that property? The property was ductility. What was the property? The property was ductility. अब अगर मैं कहूं कि क्या आप कॉपर को वायर्स में कन्वर्ट कर सकते हो? कैन वी कन्वर्ट कॉपर इनटू वायर्स? कैन वी डू दैट? सो यस, वी कैन डू दैट वेरी इजीली. हम बहुत ही इजीली कॉपर को किस में कन्वर्ट कर सकते हैं? वी कैन कन्वर्ट इट इनटू वायर. बट कैन वी कन्वर्ट वुड इनटू वायर? क्या आप वुड को या प्लास्टिक को या वूल को can you convert it in the form of wires? So answer is no. They cannot be converted into the form of wires. That is not at all possible. And the third property जो हमने देखा, that is the Sonorous. Sonorous means a very specific kind of ringing sound that we were hearing. So copper को जब हम hit करेंगे, will you hear a ringing sound? The answer for this is yes, we are going to hear the ringing sound. But if we are talking about wood, will we hear the ringing sound with the wood? No, we will not be hearing the ringing sound with the wood. So on the basis of this very primitive comparison, हम क्या कह सकते हैं? That all the metals, copper for example, based on these three properties, हम क्या कह सकते हैं? That copper is a metal. Why? Because it is showing all these three properties: malleability, ductility, and it is sonorous as well. So हम क्या कहेंगे? Copper is a metal. On the other hand, when we'll talk about wood, so we can say wood is a non-metal. Why is wood a non-metal? Wood is a non-metal because it is non-malleable, because it is not ductile, because it is not sonorous. So this is how we can differentiate metals and non-metals. But after understanding this everyone, we have a question in front of us कि क्या metals की सिर्फ इतनी properties होती हैं और क्या non-metals की इतनी properties होती हैं? Are there any another properties of metals and non-metals? So the answer for this is yes, there are several other properties और उनके बारे में अब हम discuss करेंगे and we will define that how can we define a substance is a metal or how can we say a substance is a non-metal. तो चलिए, before discussing about those properties, there are two more terms that you should know. I'm very sure that some of you are already familiar with these terms, but हो सकता है that some students are new, तो उनको नहीं पता होगा that इन दोनों terms का मतलब क्या होता है. Conductors and insulators. Okay, so very first of all everyone, we are going to start off with our discussion about conductors कि आखिर conductors होते क्या है. What does it means to be a conductor? Okay, conductors की क्या responsibility होती है? What is the meaning of a conductor? तो चलिए, conductor, जब हम conductors की बात करें everyone, so ऐसा कोई भी substance जो क्या कर सके, अपने through heat या electricity को pass कर सके. Now, what is the meaning of passing heat and electricity? Let us say I have a substance. मेरे पास यहाँ पर कोई substance है, and the substance के इस end पे मैंने क्या दिया? I have provided heat. I have provided electricity on one part. Okay, इस substance के one part पे मैंने क्या किया? I have given heat, I have given electricity. तो ये heat, electricity इस substance से pass होकर हमको second end पर भी देखने मिलेगी. If any substance, अगर कोई substance अपने आप से heat and electricity को pass कर रहा है, और in a very scientific term we can say if a substance is able to conduct heat and electricity through it, we will be saying all such substances are called conductors. Okay, what we are going to say? We will say all such substances are called conductors. So what are conductors? Conductors क्या होते हैं everyone? We are going to keep in mind that substances that pass or substances that conduct heat and electricity through them. Substances that conduct heat and electricity through them. ऐसा कोई भी substance जिसके through heat and electricity pass होती है, a substance which conducts heat and electricity through them are called conductors. What do we call such substances? ऐसे सभी substances को हम क्या कहते हैं? We call all such substances are conductors. तो हम ध्यान रखेंगे when we are talking about conductors, so we must keep in mind that all metals are conductors. जितने भी metals होते हैं, okay, all the metals are conductor. All the metals can conduct heat and electricity through them. वो अपने through heat को pass कर सकते हैं, and additionally they can also pass electricity through them. वो अपने through heat को भी pass कर सकते हैं, वो अपने through electricity को भी pass कर सकते हैं. So all the metals are conductors. Okay, and another important point is here that all, okay, graphite is the only, you have to keep in mind, graphite is the only non-metal that is conductor. Graphite is the only non-metal that is conductor. Graphite एक अकेला ऐसा non-metal है जो क्या है? That is a conductor. That means it is the only non-metal which can pass heat and electricity through them. No other non-metal has the capability to conduct heat and electricity. ओनली एंड ओनली ग्रेफाइट ऐसा कर सकता है। ऐसे करने की जो प्रॉपर्टीज है वो किसके पास होती हैं? ओनली ग्रेफाइट हैज गॉट द प्रॉपर्टी टू डू दिस। ओनली ग्रेफाइट कैन कंडक्ट हीट एंड इलेक्ट्रिसिटी थ्रू इट। सो व्हाट इज ग्रेफाइट एवरीवन? ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन है, आपको पूछा जा सकता है कि ग्रेफाइट एक्चुअली होता क्या है। व्हाट इज अ ग्रेफाइट? सो वी मस्ट कीप इन माइंड दैट व्हाट इज ग्रेफाइट, we'll be keeping in mind that graphite is a allotrope of carbon. Graphite क्या है? Graphite is a form, or we can say it's a allotrope of carbon. Graphite is what? Graphite is a allotrope of carbon. ये किससे बना होता है? Graphite is made up of carbon. So primarily there are three allotropes of carbon. हम ध्यान रखेंगे. The first allotrope of carbon is coal. The second allotrope of carbon is diamond, and the third allotrope of carbon is graphite. Okay, so they are the three allotropes of carbon, and among three, graphite is the only allotrope that can conduct heat and electricity through it. Okay, तो इतना आपको कंडक्टर्स में याद रखना है. The next term everyone that we just learned about is insulators. Okay, another term जिसके बारे में हम डिस्कस कर रहे थे, that is insulators. So what is the meaning of insulators? Insulators का क्या मतलब होता है? Now insulators are going to be just the opposite of conductors. जो भी conductors की property थी, उनका exactly opposite क्या होने वाला है? Just the opposite of it is going to be insulators. So just like conductors used to conduct heat and electricity through them, insulators cannot do that thing. Insulators वो चीज नहीं कर सकते. Insulators cannot conduct heat and electricity through them. तो हमको याद रखना है substances that do not conduct. Okay, what are insulators? Insulators are substances that do not conduct heat and electricity through them. Substances that do not conduct heat and electricity through them. Substances that do not conduct heat and electricity through them are called insulators. ऐसे सभी substances को हम क्या कहते हैं? All such substances are known by the name of insulators. So very clearly we are going to keep this one thing in mind, that insulators will not be able to conduct heat and electricity through them. Okay, so example में हम इसका ध्यान रखेंगे that all non-metals, once again exception is graphite, all non-metals are insulators. Okay, all non-metals are insulators. Exception होगा इसका graphite, because हमने अभी देखा that even after being a non-metal, graphite is a very good conductor of heat and electricity. So we have learned everyone in this session some basic properties about metals, जिनके आगे हमको बहुत help होगा when we will be classifying, when we will be learning more about metals and non-metals. In the next lecture after this everyone, हम discuss करेंगे about what is the meaning of metal. जब हम term use कर रहे हैं metal, तो उसका actual मतलब क्या होता है? What is the exact meaning of the term non-metal, and more things about them, like their reactions, the displacement reaction, double displacement reaction, about their alloys, about their amalgams, and all the things we are going to learn there. Okay, for more such sessions, stay connected with the channel, and आप channel को subscribe कर सकते हो, so that whenever I upload a video for you, a lecture for you, you will never miss it. So bye everyone, we'll meet again in the next session.